Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching News9 Special with me, Neha Bhan. Yet another instance of Hinduphobia has come to light in the United States. Let's give you all the details. Now this time it is over a float featuring the Ram Temple at the India Day Parade in New York. Just one of the dozens of floats featuring the Ram Temple has landed in controversy. A number of groups, including the Federation of Indian American Christians, claim it is anti-Muslim and should be removed from the event. The Federation of Indian Associations, the group that is organizing the event, has disputed the claim and pointed out that the float celebrates a landmark event in India as part of a celebration of India's diversity. The parade will feature over 40 floats, over 50 marching groups and over 30 marching bands. Now it takes place every year, 3 days after India's Independence Day. The float in contention depicts Lord Ram, who's known as the epitome of righteousness and morality. The question is, why should there be an opposition to this float? Why oppose a Ram Temple float in the United States? Who are these groups peddling an anti-Hindu agenda in the US? Is it a part of a larger global campaign to target the Hindu community? To answer these questions, we have with us political analyst Banuchandar Nagarajan. A very warm welcome to you, Banu. My first question to you is, that vested interest groups in the US are labeling the float overtly anti-Muslim. Now, given that the highest constitutional authority in India, the Honorable Supreme Court, handed over the land to Hindus in 2019, do you believe this criticism is justified? The question is, why is this issue still being raised?
See, this is a microcosm of many bigger questions that are at play, bigger forces that are at play currently in the United States. The first one is, if you look at the email, the message or the letter that is sent by these various organizations, the Christian Association, the Hindus for Human Rights and Indian Muslim Association, etc. In fact, the Twitter handle of a couple of these organizations are banned in India. It is absolutely filled with hate. Ironically, it calls the Ram Temple a symbol of hate rather than a symbol of unity, which it is. Right. So if you look at it, like, they are asking for a ban on this float that is going to be out there during the New York Day Parade. But in response to the letter, the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, said that he's not in agreement with it. But the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States prevents him from taking action. So there lies the story. See, we know that in United States it's election season, and the Democratic Party is in cahoots with the Islamo-fascist and woke mafia, as they are called. And the mayor has to respond in its way. But their enemy is the First Amendment of the Constitution, which guarantees free speech. And this points to the fact that there are these war against Twitter, Elon Musk, etc., etc. So let's not go down that rabbit hole, but that is one element of it. Second is the rise of India. So as we become the third largest economy or moving towards it, we are going to face these oppositions from various organizations, especially deep state organizations for years, like we see here. The third most important point is, see, the support of the Hindus comes from organizations such as VHP, like social organizations. Not every battle can be fought politically. So this is why organizations like Hinduphobia are very important.
Right. Banu, another important question to ask here is, who are these anti-Hindu groups operating in the United States? Who's funding them to float such anti-India narrative?
See, it is $1 million question. There are so many anti-Hindu forces. There are philanthropists, for example, like George Soros, and there are deep state organizations, like organizations within government. For example, the United States Council for Religious Freedom or something. It is a government body of the United States, but it constantly issues statements against Hindus and India. So there are these deep state players, there are these philanthropists, and there are many of these organizations propped up, and individuals, anti-India individuals, unfortunately many of them of Indian origin, are propped up, and they are funded to do these activities. So I think we should, this is not shocking because it has become a habit. If you look at you read the letter, it is full of hate language, such virulence, but it's not shocking anymore because this is not the first time that they are doing it. we have to prepare ourselves for it. We have to have these robust responses. We have to debate in media platforms like yours and actually take the issue to the people.
Bhanu, the NYC mayor, Eric Adams, says, and I quote, "There is no room for hate." While also stating that, and I'm quoting him again, if there is a float or a person in the parade that's promoting hate, they should not. But who's spreading hate here? This is $1 million question. After all, the float celebrates Lord Ram, who's known as the epitome of righteousness and morality.
Absolutely, Lord Ram is a Hindu icon, and he epitomizes valor, all the good virtues that Hindus hold dear to their heart. And also, see, like what you said, the temple movement was a long one, and it was actually fought in a constitutional manner, and the Supreme Court of India gave its approval, and only then the building of the temple happened, and we have this temple right now. So everything was done constitutionally, and the Hindus played by the rule book, right? So that has to be appreciated. That is one point. See, like what I said before, the US is not a great place politically. Now there are extreme factions within the Democratic Party who have actually pushed the Democratic Party to the far left. And quite ironically, they are calling every other option far right because they are so far away from them. So I think that is the political milieu, and Eric Adams has been one of those focused mayors. Like he's actually one of those mayors that actually house these illegal immigrants that have come from various countries to the southern borders in various five-star hotels, and they have actually made a mess of it. So Eric Adams, I mean, it's not surprising that he said what he has said, but the First Amendment of the Constitution guaranteeing freedom of speech is the one that is going to protect the various voices, the diverse voices that are part of America against this wokeism.
Right, and isn't this an abuse of freedom of expression as well? I mean, how could the Ram Temple float be promoting anti-Muslim sentiment in any way?
See, these are rabble-rousers. These are organizations that hate Hindus, that hate India, and they are paid to do it. They are activists that are paid to do it, so they will do it. And the only way that we could actually counter them is through arguments, counter them through raising the issues, showing up by bigotry, and showing the people of India that this is what they are against. And I think the forces, I mean, ironically, these are things that are actually going to unite the people of India. If they see that their dharma and their country is being opposed by forces, it is only going to unite and strengthen the BJP and the larger Hindu ecosystem.
Right. And Bhanu, also, we've seen anti-Hindu violence in neighboring Bangladesh. We also know that there is a lobby working against Hindus and spreading Hinduphobia in the United States. Do you see a global anti-Hindu plot in the works, especially, since Hindus have been so successful in the United States and become such an important part of the socio-political landscape of America?
I would not say a larger conspiracy, but there are anti-Hindu forces at work. Quite ironically, the presidential candidate of the Democratic Party is partially Indian, right? So, but that's also there, right? And one of the strongest contenders for the Republican candidacy was Vivek Ramaswamy, who had Indian roots as well. So I think there will be questions of jealousies, etc. But I don't see a larger plot. But there are many of these constituencies that are against the rise of Hindus in India, and the United States will also want to play, a two-faced or Janus-faced role, because on one hand they want India to face up against China, but they also resent the fact that we are becoming powerful and taking independent decisions such as buying oil from America, from Russia, and so on. So I think they are playing two sides as well. So we have to watch out for this. See, this comes with becoming big. So with in Lion King, they say with great power comes great responsibilities. We have great duties as well, and we have to equip ourselves. The only point we have to now focus on is to see whether we are powerful enough, we are equipping ourselves to counter these hateful narratives.
Right, Banu. And finally, I want to know, what is this bigotry, that is being alleged against Hindus? Isn't this community globally recognized as the most peaceful of all communities, contributing majorly to the economy and society where they live?
Oh, absolutely. They are the per capita income of Hindus in the United States is the highest. They are considered as model immigrants. And in contrast, if you see the Muslim immigrants in various parts of Europe, they are the source of trouble for various countries. You see what is happening in the United Kingdom and, at various parts of Europe, including France, Belgium, Germany, and so on. So I think the contrast is quite clear. See, I think people at some point will realize that there might be like agenda peddling organizations and agenda peddling organizations, even deep state actors like that. But ultimately, the truth will prevail. Like Martin Luther King said, the arc of justice is the arc of truth is long, but it bends towards justice. So I think it will take some time, but I think it'll be very evident that the Hindus are peaceful people. They are a force for good, and they are moral migrants. And the values that Hindus cherish are for the global good.
Thank you very much, Banu, for joining us with all of those important insights.